Okay, so I decided not to erase the table of morphemes here after all, but I did decide to erase the subject suffixes and just write our verbs instead. So let's look first at this verb for yak, they went or they go. So we have our preverb to. And we don't have an object, remember, because go is not really a transitive verb, so we don't really need an object here. And e, so, well, I mean, yeah. E is our conjugation marker, r being a tense marker for something that happened before already, and yak is the verb itself, yak being to go, remember. So again, and it's not we going or y'all going, it's they going, they went, or us going, there was something wrong there, us going or y'all going or them going, it is them going, they went, so we don't need this first person plural, second person plural, but we do need ang for a subject marker for third person plural. So if we look at the reconstructed verb they went in Proto-Yeniseian, it would have been tirekang, or it could have, I should say, could have been tirekang. Okay, now let's look again, assuming that Proto-Yeniseian had some sort of a verb that was anything like the ket verb, kas, to catch, or the Bokkok, again, ancient South Yeniseian language, would have had kat or kot for to catch. Assuming ancient Yeniseian had something like this, it could have been something like kotoktang or kotoktang or something like this, and I'm not sure where this O is coming from, but in the Jie language, that's very close to the Jie, tirekang, yak ek, kotoktang, kat, something like this. Now, of course, let's look at kotoktang. So k, preverb, object, to, him. We should write that, they will catch him. Okay. I'm not sure in the Jie language where this O came from, but you know, it might have been maybe one of the constraints of the means by which they were recording this language, Chinese characters. Who knows? But anyway, to for him. And O is our conjugation marker. We don't need a tense. This is normal, non-past tense, which could refer to events now or events soon. And this is so we don't need an aspect or tense marker. Nothing here. Verb stem, some vowel and t. So or maybe even just kt and ang. And again, remember. Let's put a little null sign here because we don't have a one person or two person. Again, it's they catch or they will catch him. So again, for Bokkok, I would hate to be him when they caught him. But anyway, kotoktang, tirekang, kotoktang, something like this, and which is astonishingly close to the Jie utterance, tirekang. What is it? Suke, tirekang, bokkok, kotoktang, tirekang, kotoktang. So that's a little look at these verbs. Now, again, what is the mystery of the jumping vowel here? I don't know, and it will take a smarter man than or woman, a smarter linguist, let's say, than me to figure this out. And another big question here is, you know, and I'm sure Vovin would be able to explain this, but I personally don't know. And when I read Vovin's paper, I was a little confused why we're saying, for example, for tirekang, let's just change that. Let's do that. Tirekang, kotoktang. So, they go, or sorry, they went. Remember our tense marker, our past tense. So they went, and kotoktang, they catch him, or they will catch him. They will catch him, or they catch him, something like this. So tirekang, kotoktang. Let's look. So again, Vovin, in his paper, I really had a little bit of trouble understanding why this is tirekang and why we know it's a t-t-t sound and ra-ra-ra sound and not, for example, I don't know, pa-nak or something like this, pa-nakam, because we also have the possibility of a pa-pa or an a-a or a na-na. So I don't know why that is or why this verb is not, I don't know, koktang or something like this instead of kotoktang. I don't know, because we have other options here in these morphological slots. So, you know, that's one big. Hey everybody, sorry about that. My camera decided to shut off unexpectedly. But as I was saying, there's one more thing that is a big question here, and that is, how do we know that this suke, remember, suke tirekang bokkok kotoktang, suke for army, how do we know that this is armies, plural? Remember, ang, they went. How do we know that this is plural and not singular, just one army? How do we know that? Well, earlier on in the same chronicle, we hear about these vast, enormous troop movements and people laying siege to a stockade and one division being sent out against another, things like that. We're talking about these enormous groups of fighting men. And given the size of these forces, it is entirely reasonable, at least it is to Vovin, and seems so to me, that armies would be in the plural. And so this ang for they, remember, subject, third person plural, ang, that seems justified. So, in conclusion, this is 100% certainly not 100% confirmation that the Jie were speaking a Yeniseian language, but it does show that it is feasible, and it is not just wishful thinking on the part of Yeniseists like me. The sentence appears, optimistically anyway, it appears more or less consistent with being a Yeniseian language, with being in a Yeniseian language, and you know, I don't know about you, and you know, of course, the big question that the layperson has is, why is this important? I don't know about you, but it's astonishing, it's mind-boggling to me when I think about how this language spoken by the elite of a Chinese dynasty could possibly, maybe even arguably, be in the same language family as a tribe of hunter-gatherers in Siberia, or that maybe the badasses and the warriors of the Jie could be the linguistic cousins of the equally badass and feared Tlinkits of the Pacific Northwest, or even, you know, and now we're getting into the Dene Yeniseian hypothesis, which is the idea that the Yeniseian languages are related to the Na-Dene languages of the Western Hemisphere, which of course is not 100% proven. That is 100%, not 100%, but it's still very much a subject of debate, but you know, it's a cool idea. And you know, thinking about how the badass warriors of the Jie could be the linguistic cousins of the equally badass Tlingit, or that the Xiongnu steppe nomads of the Eastern Hemisphere, get this, think about this, the Xiongnu steppe nomads of the Eastern Hemisphere could even have the linguistic cousin of the Navajo, who are the steppe nomads of the Western Hemisphere. Wow, how cool is that? That is so awesome. And you know, thinking about that, I think it really shows how close we are as a human family. And you know, even if there are horrible stories about wars and genocides and what have you. You know, the speaking languages like this and just these little clues to our linguistic past really goes to show the closeness of the human family. And that's the beauty of historical linguistics. So anyway, that's been an introduction to the Jie language. And if you're Bokkok, if Bokkok is watching this, do watch out, because the armies are coming after you. That's all for me tonight. Everybody, happy Chinese New Year, happy Year of the Monkey. I am going to be going home to America, so I think I'll see some of you soon. Everybody take care.